You are not losing out on anything God didn't put in your life, right? That's the title of the video, and that's the discussion that we're going to be having today in this video, right? And a lot of people had this settlement before, or this is something that they have dealt with. Um, as a collective, as human beings in general, right? We all had that feeling before, where we felt like we may have been missing out on creating experiences, capitalizing on opportunities, or just trying to meet certain expectations and standards, right? Not only when it comes to the internal battle, or the internal thoughts within yourself, but also when it comes to people outside in public, right? People outside of you, right? Nobody wants to feel like they are missing out, especially on creating experiences in life, right? Because once you get to your deathbed, right? Once you pass on from this earth and you are judged accordingly, right? You want to be able to look back, on your life, and you want to be able to ask yourself, did I live a good life, right? And I'm not saying as far as, sinning and partying and drinking and smoking and clubbing, none of those things, right? And if that's what you do, you know what I mean? If that's what you do for fun, I will hope eventually you turn away from that, and you understand that you don't need to do those things to have fun and live a fruitful life, right? But, just putting that out to the side, right? Obviously you want to be able to look back on your life and say, you had a fruitful life. You created good experiences, not only with yourself, but with other people. You capitalized and gained as much as you can out of life as you could. You lived for Jesus Christ as much as you could, and try to abide by his will the best that you could. And you know what I mean? You got to do everything that you wanted to do, or that you were called to do in life, right? You want to ask yourself these questions, and you want to be able to say yes to those questions, when you are at the end, right? When you are about to pass on, right? So it's not anything that's foreign or out of this world, right? You just don't want to miss out on these things, right? It's a normal thing to have. It's a normal thing to think about. So don't, shun it away. Don't try to sweep it under the rug like it's something, that's not normal, right? As humans, we want to be able to create fruitful experiences, and to be able to feel like we are capitalizing on ourselves and on our lives as much as we can, right? But with that being said, with that, settlement being said, right? You don't want to get caught up to the point to where that starts to dominate your mind, most of your day and most of your life, right? Having this fear of missing out, and that starting to build into regret, right? And that having build into like fear of rejection. You know what I mean? All of those things can, go together and coincide together. And I dropped a video about that a couple months back, talking about the fear of rejection and the fear of regret, right? Nobody wants to have regret, and nobody wants to have the fear of being told no, right? Of being rejected, right? Nobody wants to be told no. Nobody wants to be told, that somebody is better. You know what I mean? In that type of aspect, whether it's a relationship or just, going about life in general. Maybe it's a career opportunity, a business opportunity, something along the lines of that type of thing, right? Nobody wants to be told no, right? Nobody wants to be told no. Nobody wants to feel, like they missing out, like I said. And nobody wants to fear of having regrets at the end of their life, right? But you don't want to start to let these things dominate, because that's how those other things could start to add up and pile up on top of having that fear of missing out, or to put it in a short acronym, FOMO. I don't know if that's right, but I'll pop it up right here on the side. But I'm pretty sure that's an acronym, excuse me, for FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. When you start to let, these things dominate your mind and, put a control over your mind on a constant basis, I feel like because you are so caught up with, missing out on life and missing out on experiences, that takes you out of the present moment from creating experiences and not feeling like you're missing out, right? Because when you start to let this problem, like this energy just dominate you and take over your mind on a daily basis, it kind of takes you out of the present and it has you focusing on the past and the future, because you like, oh my goodness, I should have did this 10 years ago. Maybe I would have been better off if I did that 10 years ago and I wouldn't be where I'm at, right now in this predicament. Or, oh my goodness, I need to start doing this right then and now, because if I don't start doing it right then and now, I don't know how I'm going to have a good future. And you know what I mean? I feel like it pulls you out of the present. And when you aren't in the present, I feel like that is when you miss out on the experiences. That is when you miss out on, having fruitful experiences and living out and doing the things that you want to do. When you are not in the present, when you are focusing on the past and stuff that you missed out on, when you focusing on the future and things that you are uncertain of and things that you don't know, where you might be later on, or things that you need to do now, that way you can be better off later on, right? I feel like when you start to let it dominate you, that is when you miss out on creating those experiences the most, because you are so caught up with living in the past and in the future, excuse me, instead of living in the present. That way you don't have those things blocking you. You don't have those things, putting like a ball chain over your mind, and you are just able to live in the present moment without any worries, without any anxieties, without any fears. And you are just able to create experiences naturally, just living in the present moment, right? So with that being said, I have two scriptures that I have written down personally to help me, and I feel like that will also better help get across the point and the emphasis of this, right? So the first one I have is Matthew chapter 6 verse 33. This is the New Living Translation version, right? Seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need, right? When you are putting your focus on God, and when you are living for God, and when you put your full faith into God, right? And being able to trust him no matter what the situation may be, no matter what the circumstance may be, right? When you are able to fully submit to him and he sees this, he will give you everything that you will need, right? He will give you everything that you need because he sees that you trust in him. You trust in his ability to change your life, to do good in your life. You know what I mean? He sees that you are able to keep faith in him, even when it seems like he may not be there, even though he is there all the time, right? This is the second one, right? Luke chapter 12, verse 25 through 31. Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And if worry can't accomplish a little thing like that, what's the use of worrying over bigger things, right? When we start to worry about where we are at in life, when we start to worry about, missing out on opportunities of creating experiences and, not being where we want to be in life, right? What does that do for us? Right? What has worrying about anything ever did for anybody? Has it created any good experiences in your life? Has it done anything to get you to create those experiences in life? Has it pushed you further into bettering yourself and to creating, like I said again, those experiences in life, right? If you answer that question no, which I'm pretty sure everybody should, because what has worry ever done for anybody? In my opinion, I feel like all worrying does is bring stress, just trauma, and unwanted amount of pressure, right? It doesn't do anything but just bog you down and hold you down like you are in shackles and chains, right? So if worrying can't add a single moment to your life, then what's the point of worrying over bigger things, right? Worrying over finances, worrying over being in a relationship. Me, what I'm going through personally, right? Worrying about being in a relationship, right? Worrying about if people like you. Worrying about if you're missing out on experiences. Worrying about your car payment. You know what I mean? Your rent, your phone bill, your utilities. You know what I mean? What's the use of worrying about bigger things and you worrying about those little things and they not even helping you out? You know what I mean? So what is worrying really doing for you? Nothing, right? It's doing nothing for you. So don't feel like you need to worry about these things and you need to stress out and you need to be so frantic about, creating experiences and getting these things and trying to reach out for these goals and things like that. And I'm not saying that it's not a normal thing to think of, right? Like I said in the beginning of the video, it's all something that is normal, and it's all something that we all go through as believers and as human beings in general, right? My thing is, the point I'm trying to drive at and get at with this video is to not let it control you. Do not let it control you. Don't worry. Don't let it control you. Don't let it worry you. And just don't stress about it, right? Live for God on a daily basis. Live for His will. And put your faith into Him. He says it Himself. Seek the kingdom of God above all else, and He will give you everything you need, right? God already knows what you need. God knows what you want. But sometimes He may have to delay that to show you the things that you need to do and to build your faith and your strength in Him, and your strength within Him, and then He will be able to deliver that to you and to bring that upon you, right? So that's what I wanted to come on here and talk about. I try not to make this video too long, but we'll see what it's looking like once it's uploaded. And yeah, man, that's what I wanted to come on here and talk about. Make sure you get right with God before you even come and click on my video, as I'm just somebody who was bringing across the message, and this video shouldn't be a supplement for going and spending time and talking with Him personally before you come here, right? So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.